What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. Interesting story here about nuclear shrimp, apparently, that goes a little bit deeper than I expected. When I saw nuclear shrimp, like nuclear radiated shrimp, my mind turned to an old Godzilla type film where it's like, rah, glowing nuclear shrimp attacking Tokyo or something like that. But actually, Walmart has nuclear shrimp on it. There's a massive recall on it. This is actually crazy. And then also I'm going to go over a couple other recalls and show you how to check them. Because, well, I thought, what a great moment for a PSA. By the way, huge shout out to this video sponsor, Beam. In today's world, it's increasingly difficult for people to shut off and truly unwind. From the nonstop news cycle and political noise to the pressures of work, many find their minds are constantly running. One of the first aspects of well-being may be impacted by this mental overload is, of course, sleep. Millions struggle with restless nights, frequently waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. with racing thoughts. Instead of feeling rested, they spend their days fatigued, pushing through after only 5 or 6 broken hours of sleep, and often wake up feeling worse than they did when they went to bed. Seeking solutions for better sleep, some have turned to Beam Dream, a sleep support supplement that comes recommended by peers and trusted sources. That's why over 93% of Dream users report better sleep. It helps with better sleep, faster sleep onset, more restful nights, and mornings marked by greater clarity and energy. Plus, there's no grogginess and brain fog, experiencing instead real restorative sleep and steady energy throughout the day. What distinguishes Beam from everything else is that it's clean, evidence-based formula. It contains ingredients such as magnesium, L-theanine, and reishi, all selected to help the body's natural relaxation process. It's sugar-free, only 15 calories, and boasts a track record of over 18 million nights of sleep improved. For those who want to try, looking for better sleep, I recommend you try Beam Dream. Use code QUARTERING for up to 35% off in the link in the description, and I think it'll make a world of difference for you. So give that a try. Sleep is really important. Now, FDA urges recall of Walmart shrimp over radioactive contamination. The FDA detected cesium-137, a radioactive isotope, in one of the shipments of the great value frozen raw shrimp to Walmart. Now, I'm a picky seafood guy. In general, I will not eat any discount seafood. Because of that, seafood is like a rare treat for me. It's like got to be at a fancy restaurant where they specifically say, oh, it's flown in today, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they're lying to me. I don't know. But I don't buy frozen seafood anyway. I get it fresh or only from places where it's fresh. There's a video of a slice of salmon with worms like coming out of it that, long put me off buying any kind of seafood at the grocery store. Anyway, the FDA has warned the public not to consume Walmart's brand of shrimp in 13 states because it may have been exposed to radioactive material. Now, I have a lot of questions. Were they swimming in the ocean where there was like a radioactive spill? Is Walmart selling nuclear bombs? Was there toxic waste? Were the shrimp living in toxic waste? And if so, did they have any superpowers? There's a lot to really unpack here. The FDA recommendation in a notice today said that Walmart should recall 3 lots of Great Value brand frozen raw shrimp processed by Indonesia, an Indonesian company, PT Baharari Makmur Sejadi, saying that it detected a radioactive isotope, cesium-137, in a single shipment of the product that, quote, had not entered U.S. commerce. I mean, how do we even know that? I mean, lot numbers, that's why people always ask, like in my coffee company, like, what's that little sticker on the bottom? That's actually a lot number. So I know if or a batch number. So like if somebody says, hey, this coffee tastes off or whatever, I could trace it back to a batch and figure out what's going on, what happened. Was there something different in that batch or something like that? Though the level of CS-137 detected may not have posed an acute health risk to consumers, the FDA said it could cause problems if contaminated shrimp were consumed over an extended period. It said that no product had tested positive or alerted for CS-137 had yet been sold in the United States, but it did not rule out it did not rule out that other shipments could have been exposed, and said it was investigating. Exactly. So if you've eaten great value shrimp from Walmart, I need you to let me know if you've gained any superpowers. Have you, could you have x-ray vision now? Can you unsnap a bra just by looking at it? Can you leap tall buildings with a single bound? Can you punch through walls? Not all superpowers are super, super obvious either. Like, do you have the superpower of your farts not smelling anymore? Have you noticed any of this stuff that may have actually happened? Now it says a product was sold in Walmart stores in Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Texas, and West Virginia. Dodged a bullet there in Wisconsin. In a statement Wednesday said, Walmart said it has issued a sales restriction and removed the product from the stores. The health and safety of our customers is always top priority, the company said, adding that it is working with the supplier to investigate the incident. Now, they haven't told us anything more. Now, here's some interesting stuff about cesium-137. Cesium-137 is a radioactive isotope created during nuclear fission. It is used in radiation therapy for cancers, as well as medical equipment and industrial gauges. It can be found in small quantities in the air, soil, and water, according to the CDC, but exposure to large concentrated quantities of CS-137 is dangerous. It can increase the risk of cancer. It can cause burns, acute radiation sickness, and death. The FDA said it was first alerted by U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents that CS-137 was detected in shipping containers at ports in Houston. How many other things were at these ports and had this cesium in it? That's what I wonder. And by the way, I'm pretty sure, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of, shipping containers coming in and out per month at these ports. How many of them are they actually testing? What is the process like to test for nuclear radiation inside these shipping containers? Is it possible that they use these shipping containers to ship cesium-137? It seems unlikely that the contamination in the shipping container would be so bad that it would also then infect the shrimp. If let's say they had just used a shipping container to ship medical equipment or gauges that use cesium-137, the agency conducted tests and confirmed the presence of cesium-137 in one sample of breaded shrimp, which appears to have been prepared, packed, or held under insanitary conditions where it may have become contaminated. So let me just go out there and say, stop buying Walmart shrimp, period. Here's the thing. If you want seafood, I get it can be expensive, but go to a smaller shop or a smaller grocery store and call around and be like, hey, do you get your seafood in daily? Is it fresh, never frozen? Go there, pay a little bit extra for that particular seafood. You want to make shrimp isn't even that expensive if you buy it. I got shrimp from my favorite restaurant, and I just asked him, where do you buy your shrimp from? And I think it was in Milwaukee, Empire Fish or something like that. He's like, we get them from there. So now when I want shrimp, I drive a half hour, I go to Empire Fish, I bring a styrofoam container, and I get my fish and my shrimp and stuff from there. And yeah, I get it less often, and it's also more expensive, but I'd rather not get irradiated. It's bad enough with microplastics in your balls and all this kind of stuff. This says BMS Foods, the operating name of PT Baharari Makmur Sajadi, did not immediately respond to a request for comment made outside of business hours on Wednesday. The FDA said the concentration it detected is affected in the sample was lower than the levels at which the agency's guidelines recommend introducing protective measures for consumers, but it said it had taken action because repeated low-dose exposure, included through consuming contaminated food or water over time, can cause an elevated risk of cancer. How many of these nuclear shrimp would you have to eat before you would get stomach cancer? Walmart received shipments of the Great Value brand's frozen raw shrimp after the cesium contamination was first detected, but those shipments did not alert for CS-137, the FDA said. So those, adding that those batches should also be recalled. Yikers. Now, I do want to let you know, you can always check out, if you go to corporate.walmart.com/recalls, you can see everything that there's recalls for, and there's quite a few things. Food recalls, they obviously just had the imported shrimp from Indonesian firm, but just 2 weeks before that, Droller Dry Ingredient Solutions recalls freeze-dried fruit variety pack 15 count. This is in every state where they're sold. The day before that, High Noon recalls vodka seltzer batch due to inclusion of Celsius Astro Vibe. That sounds like a energy drink cans. Okay, well, that's not that big of a deal. Also in Wisconsin. The day before, Tropical recalls ice cream, ready-to-eat chicken sausage. I mean, every other day they're having recalls. And like, I think it's worth, Kraft Heinz recalled 400,000 pounds of turkey bacon. Well, that's what you get for eating turkey bacon. Unless you have like a documented heart condition, either eat real bacon or don't eat anything at all. This is, if they have another food recall every week, I had no idea. Like, I sent this to my wife. I'm like, you should see if we have any of this stuff in our closets. Obviously, they have pharmacy. By the way, they have it so it only looks like there's a few, but you have to click read more. They've had 3 pharmaceutical recalls in the last 60 days on Zicam and something else, Dexcom, glucose monitor, DrinkMate carbonate bottles. Look at all these product recalls. Leatherman recalls Change Plus multi-tool due to laceration hazard. I mean, it's probably good to get educated on this. This is at corporate.walmart/recalls. And I think there's actually a government website that puts all this stuff together too, recalls.gov. Recalls.gov is a site where, boy, it looks like it was made in the 70s. But I wonder if they're, maybe take a look through this stuff. Not a bad thing to do. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you didn't eat any of the nuclear shrimp, and we'll talk to you again real soon.